All right, man. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Dumbass Film Students, where young filmmakers and those alike come together. We give our unappreciated and gave a fuck about opinion about these movies that we watch and tune in and enjoy, and some we hate, some we feel all types of ways about. But we do it every single week, and we bring it to YouTube because that's the only platform where people who would probably care would find it. My name is Rudy Wilson, Willy Nilly if you're nasty on Instagram. Always joined by my brother from a totally different mother, Mr. Lonnie Cox. What's popping?
Not much, buddy. Good to be here.
This whole time I thought that was a Coca-Cola shirt, but I realized it's sriracha at this point. Like I wasn't even. It was just the colors that got me. But I
representing Cox.
Gotcha. That makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Harry Cox at that.
That's right.
And of course, always coming through with the nostalgia of Star Wars or something similar on the shirt and in the background. We missed the background last week, but he's back. Pew, pew. Everybody gonna die. Mr. Daryl D.A. Henry.
Hello.
Everybody gonna die. Everybody gonna die.
Speaking of sriracha real fast, there is a sauce that I make with sriracha. It's phenomenal. Put some little chili oil in there. Some diced up tomatoes.
Do you dip your Cheetos in it?
No, it's like a little Hispanic style sauce. But
gotcha.
Daryl made,
I think that makes it not Hispanic at that point. Like,
yeah, it sounds pretty Asian to me, but
the fact that you're making it no longer makes it no longer Hispanic style.
Hey, when I was making it, I was working with a bunch of Hispanics.
Wait, was it the tomatoes that you were thinking made it Hispanic? That's Mexican now.
Right. If you dice them. If you dice them, that's when it becomes Mexican.
Exactly. You gotta dice some tomatoes in there as well.
Right.
Whole tomatoes or half tomatoes are American. You dice them.
Right.
That's gonna get you deported.
And of course, man, we always bring a special guest on, man. Comedian, he's busting jokes already. He got the Cheetos. He got the faded sriracha shirt and put Columbia on it. My man, I met him up in D.C., man. Real funny dude, real good dude, man. Mr. Glenn Lawrence McDonald.
Hey, what's going on? You ain't got to put the McDonald. You just put the Glenn Lawrence. I figured out a long time ago there's too many names. I just need the two.
Hey, you put me through the struggle back in the day, so I'm always saying every time. Nah, that's dope, man. I appreciate you pulling up, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for rescheduling me. It's all good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was all ready for last week, and he was like, "Nah, one more week. Just hold on." I was like, "Damn, this is my big shot." I told my mom about it.
Nah, that's hilarious, man. Well, yeah, man. I guess just, real quick, of course, I know you, I don't know everything about you, but I know you well enough, but, first time meeting Lonnie and DA, and then, of course, our viewers don't know anything about you. So I guess give us a quick rundown in reference to, where you're from, your whole background, where you grew up, where you live now, what you're doing, what's your cholesterol level, all that
I'm Glenn Lawrence. I'm a comedian out of D.C., but the hometown's always Philadelphia, so repping the Eagles and everything Philadelphia sports. But yes. I've been doing, there we go, there we go. But I'm a big nerd. You know what I'm saying? I love the comic book stuff. I love all the computer shit and all that type of stuff. It's really kind of what got me into filmmaking and whatnot. My love for computers, because I figured out that you could, that's how you make these films. I love telling stories, natural storyteller. I guess that's what got me into comedy too. So I've always been looking forward to kind of melding the two, storytelling through comedy, and making short films. I've made a bunch of short films and stuff. So it's kind of cool to be on here with people discussing film. You know what I mean? Because I feel like film is deep. The storytelling aspect of it is deep. Every time I watch a film, it takes me to a different place, and even bad films, I feel like there's some art in how terrible something can
facts.
be, and it takes a lot to make a film. So I'm interested to go in depth with you guys on these 3 that we checked out today.
Yeah, I mean, it just even to piggyback off of that, man. It's hard when you're a nerd about anything. Like, you know, like for me, like I'm not really into like comic books or whatever. So like if I hear a comic book conversation, to me, I'm gonna be like nerds. But then somebody can hear me talk about film or sports, and they'd be like, ugh, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that.
Right.
Like, so everybody there's something that they're like, they have all the knowledge about, or really in-depth knowledge, and then you go in but it's rare to find that about film when you're talking about, like you said, in-depth stuff. Like usually with most people, you're gonna get the surface. I like it, I didn't like it. Why he had to marry that bitch, or why, you know, whatever. It's gonna be that, but like to be able to actually go in and be like cinematography, the screenplay, you know, the lighting, or I wonder how they got this shot. I wonder why he chose this. You know, the whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't get to have that conversation with everybody, you know. So yeah, so that's why we even brought you on, because, you know, I mean, if you didn't have that type of depth, you know, you wouldn't have been invited, you know. So yeah, man. So that's dope, man. How did you get into filmmaking in the first place? Sorry to cut you off, but start off with what all you do when it comes down to filmmaking in reference to like directing, right, whatever. And then how did you get into it?
So I think the way that I got into it is ever since I was a young lad. We used to watch film, like, you know, movies all the time. Me and my sister, we could go for like, I don't know, like 8 hours just watching movies all day in the movie theater. You know what I'm saying? Like hop around and check out different ones. So we just always had a love for film.
Right.
And then my mom, she is an author, so, you know, she writes a lot, and it really just got me into kind of like the holistic nature of like film, because, you know, every film comes from a script. You know, my mom writing it excited me about, you know, that aspect too. So once I went to college, I started kind of writing, and then, you know, putting these little things together, did the media studies thing, but it was a lot more focused on TV. But I always branched out and tried to do a little bit here and there. So started with like some commercials, and then I made some actual shorts for like the 48-hour film festival and 24-hour film festival. So that kind of teaches you how to make a film fast. You know, it's like, shit, well, we only got 24 hours. We got to get this shot.
Right.
So that's helped out. And I just kind of gone from there. You know what I mean? Every year I'll usually make a different little project or whatever. And they've ranged. This year I'm working on something kind of cool. You was a part of it. I'm keeping it hush right now because I don't know how it's going to turn out. But once it starts, you know, like getting to a point where I can show something, or, you know, got a little trailer, I'll be like, okay, now I can hype it a little bit, you know. But you know, like, I guess you've done film before, so you know there's always that where you got to kind of like script it out, and then you got to actually execute it, you know, like shoot all the shots that you had in your mind, and then you got to put the story together and editing. So I kind of done all of that, you know, run the gamut, you know, with these 48-hour, 24-hour film projects. A lot of times I'm like probably one of the most knowledgeable person about film, so I was kind of directing everybody, you know.
Right.
And I think they ended up turning out good. I'm very interested to keep going in it and see what happens when you get to collaborate with, you know, different people, when everybody on the, you know, has like film background and everybody knows what they're doing, and you're not having to explain like, well, this is a VU meter, and, you know, like all right, just, you know, white balance or something, you know, if I'm you know, it just takes a lot of pressure off of you trying to do everything at once, and hopefully with that pressure alleviated, the projects get better and better. But yeah, I've done, you know, film for a while, and basically from inception to, you know, finalization and you know, kind of distributing, I guess, would be the last step that I need to master. But kind of jack of all trades, man. Love the stuff, love storytelling, and I guess that's it.
Oh, go ahead, yeah.
That was it. I
was gonna.
I was saying DA had a question. I'm sorry.
Have you ever won any of the film challenges?
I mean, we got like I never won. Nah, they were never. They're never that great. So it would have been, I don't know. We won like the individual kind of accolades sometimes that they had, like best actress or best, you know, effect or, you know, like those type of things. I never won overall best film. So that's, you know, it's all right. It's something to strive for, but I think that's why we do this. You keep doing it until you make something great. And hopefully, you know, the thing that people know you for, because the thing that you blow up on is always your first one. And then they're like, oh, that person came out of nowhere. But it's like, nah, he's got all kind of films and stuff that he's been making in the background, but those don't count. Like it's the first one that everyone sees is the one that they're like, oh, his first film gross X, Y, Z amount, but they didn't see all the garbage that you've done before, your family videos and all that shit that you got. So, but thank you for bringing that up. That I'm a loser. I appreciate it. No, I'm just joking. Nah, it's a difficult thing, man. There's a lot of talented people, so and everybody's got their opinion. So that's another thing that's exciting about film, you know.
Gotcha, man. So what I was saying, but what's like your, I guess, your go-to things? Like if you could do anything, like you want to direct more, produce, write, like just if you had to choose one or two things, edit, you know.
I feel like writing is the most difficult, just to sit down and do. That's the hardest part, because in your head everything is perfect and intricate, and then trying to get it on the paper is very difficult. But once you do, it feels amazing. Directing is the most challenging, I feel like, because you're corralling all these people and getting them
for sure
on board to basically bring this vision that, you know, either you or somebody else has written to life. So it's a challenge to wrangle everybody and get them to see that vision. And sometimes the thing that you're seeing, other people can't see. But being able to flex your leadership muscles, it really stands out when you're directing, trying to get people to follow along. It's like, you may not see the vision, but just follow what I'm saying, and we're going to get something amazing. And then, you know, you see it on the screen and everybody's like, oh shit, like that person's a visionary. They saw what they saw. But then in the moment when you're like trying to get people to do it, they're like, this shit is stupid. Like, like why would I do this? And you know, you got to have that. Editing, I love because you can mold the story. Like you get all those pieces, and then it's almost like putting a puzzle together. So you know, it's challenging in that way, and I really enjoy that. And then, you know, you go on the circuits and you talk to people about the film. That's like the last step. So that's fun too. But I don't know which one I like. I think directing is the most challenging and rewarding. Right.
What I was going to say, going back to when you were saying, as far as like people not getting the concept until after it's done, like I always tell people, like, what do you think the pitch meeting sounded like the first time somebody was pitching Ninja Turtles? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got turtles who want to do karate, who eat pizza, trained by a rat, you know, like just imagine that this was like, this never existed and somebody brought this to you. You'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
But if you look down the line, it's genius. Like it was, you know, it was a big thing. You know what I'm saying? So,
or like Guardians of the Galaxy, it's like, all right, we got a movie. It's about this space god and a talking tree and a raccoon. Actually, the tree doesn't talk. He only says one sentence. But the raccoon is super smart. You'd be like,
not even a sentence, a phrase.
Yeah. and then to have people like crying about, like, I actually shed a tear watching Guardians of the Galaxy. That's how touching it is. I'm crying over crying over a cartoon rat and a raccoon and a tree.
Honestly, I think one of the hardest things to pitch would have been Jurassic Park, because it was very different from its time. Sorry.
But Jurassic Park would seem harder to me to pitch, just in the sense of like, how are we going to pull this off? Like, how are we going to make dinosaurs?
Like,
but what I'm saying, we're talking about not understanding the concept of like what the movie is. Like,
exactly.
Ninja Turtles sounded stupid, like coming out of somebody's mouth. Jurassic Park sounds cool. I just wouldn't know how to pull it off. You know what I'm saying?
If you're like, oh, we're gonna bring dinosaurs back in present day, I think that pitch sells itself. It's like, oh, that's cool. Ninja Turtles. It's like, you got some
Right, like,
How
right,
are they small turtles? Because usually
Right.
they're small. It's like, no,
Right.
these are overgrown
Right.
mutant turtles, but
right.
teenagers.
Teenagers specifically.
Yeah, like I get what you're saying. It's like telling somebody that story. They be like, all right, let's go to the nutty house.
And they eat pizza. Let's not forget they eat pizza. They live in the sewer.
And they wear masks to hide their identity as turtles.
Right.
Yeah. They wear masks.
Not even a mask. Like, just eyewear.
Who is that? Who is that person? Turtle thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't see this part of his face. So.
But luckily they're running around with, a pretty white girl, so everything's all right. Like, they must be the heroes.
They must be safe, yeah. If she trusts them.
It must be all good. So, Ninja Turtles is a wow.
Speaking of white people, Lonnie, are you gangbanging right now? I've seen that. I've seen that pop up a couple times in the.
Just remember, bro. Just watch your mouth.
Don't get quiet.
Oh man, got you, man. Well, like I said, man, appreciate you pulling up, bro. And I guess we can go ahead and dive into these movies. This is what we all came here for. And I actually want to start off with the Peanut Butter Falcon. Lonnie, that was your movie you chose, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. And Glenn, I didn't say this in the beginning, so the way we're going to basically do it, I'm just going to ask you guys, like, who's on the side of liking it, who's on the side of disliking it, and then we'll go from there. So I'm just going to start off by saying I really, really enjoyed this movie a lot. I do have discrepancies about it, but I'm definitely on the side of liking it a lot. Like, I like the movie a lot, but I got, like, one or two things. So, DA, where are you at?
Yeah, I would definitely say this was a great pick. It's debatable for being one of the best ones we watch in this, I guess, this segment or this episode between.
Okay, but don't go that deep. You going into the other movies and stuff. Just you're on the side of liking. I got you. It's one of the best ones. We'll get into the comparisons later. What you got, Lonnie?
I love this movie. It's very heartfelt, touching. It's a simple film. It doesn't it's not asking a lot of us, which is good and bad. But this movie probably didn't cost a lot to make. It didn't but.
All right, Lonnie. Okay, you going too deep too. Hold on one second. We got to get Glenn's vote.
Listen. I guess. Look, I'm gonna make it interesting. While I kind of enjoy the movie, I find it very roastable. Like, I find it things that I would have jokes about that I'd be like, what the fuck?
Right.
But I did enjoy it. But just for sake of argument, I'm going to go against what y'all say and say is very roastable, borderline trash. It's like
wow, borderline trash. Wow.
No, but look,
okay.
you know what it is. You know what it is. It's like it's a plate you put on the counter right before you're supposed to scrape it off into the trash. It was good while I was eating it, but now it's trash. It's
wow.
It's
okay.
roastable. No,
Gotcha.
I love Shia LaBeouf, but I mean, it wouldn't be as interesting if we all are agreeing. Like, yeah, man, it was a great movie. So
I'm not stopping you. Go for it. I mean, like I said, I enjoyed the movie. Like, as an overall movie, I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was a really good movie. But I do have some questions. I do have some questions about certain things. So, Lonnie, you were saying. I know I kind of cut you off.
No. I was just saying I like this movie a lot. I know Shia LaBeouf. Anytime he makes a movie, he really throws himself into the making of the movie, and he did that with this as well. Shia LaBeouf doesn't make a lot of films, but when he makes a film, it's very special and important, and he really sells himself, and he's a true artist, and that comes through in all of his performances.
Right.
I like that the Down syndrome character was played by a person who actually has Down syndrome and wasn't a person that's going full retard, from Tropic Thunder, where they just get Sean Penn or Cuba Gooding Jr. to play a mentally handicapped person. And I like, you know, one of the things I think that I love about this movie is, you know, Rudy, before the show, we were talking about working with kids, and I worked with kids. I was a camp counselor, and some of the kids had some disabilities, you know, and I found in that moment that a lot of those children were capable of a lot more than what was expected of them by adults that were watching them. So, you know, just like one story that came to mind was this, you know, one kid was putting on his bathing suit or his something, and he was doing it, and someone came over and was like trying to help him, and I'm like, he can do it. Like he's, right. And she's like, no, he can't do it. He can't do this. He can't possibly do this. Right. And that was one of the big themes in this movie, you know? Right. I love the scene where, you know, he's getting bullied and Shia LaBeouf just comes and punches the kid in the face. Also, it's a cool movie. You know, it takes place on the Outer Banks. They're both like kind of on the run. I like John Bernthal, you know, the brother, the Punisher. I'm a big fan of him. Yeah, man, the twist at the end of the movie where you think, you know, well, spoiler alert, you think he's dead, but he's not. He's in the back of the car. I just thought it was a great movie. I really, really enjoyed it.
I'm going to say it like this. So for one, I forgot to say this, and I always be slipping my mind, but The Peanut Butter Falcon, directed by Tyler Nilson and Michael Schwartz, starring Shia LaBeouf, Zach Gottsagen, I guess it's pronounced. And with all the filmmakers for the films we're going to talk about, congratulations to you. You got these films done. We're not criticizing it because you're a piece of shit. This is just our opinions about your film. Okay, for The Peanut Butter Falcon, for me, I thought it was a great movie. I thought it had a great message. I thought the acting was great. I thought the shots were great. Going through the, I guess that was that cornfields or wheat fields or something, the high like cornfields, whatever. Like I thought that was good because for me, I honestly like dirty shots, especially like when you're tracking with actors or whatever like that, like something always kind of being in the foreground or, you know, like as you're panning with them. So like when I'm seeing them walking through the fields or whatever, and, you know, and it's constantly passing or whatever, and you get different shots, to me, I just like shots like that. So all of that was good. I thought the journey was good, that, you know, the fact, like you said, Lon, you got two people, you know, who's basically on the run. So now they're living this, you know, free life, whatever like that. All that stuff is great. This is well, let me point out one more good thing. I thought the scene with him almost getting hit by the boat and all that, I thought that was great. I thought that was I thought all that set up about, you know, am I gonna die? He almost died, and it says like all that was cute, adorable. I get it. This is what I'm saying. Number one, okay. Why when they, first of all, how the fuck are any of these people finding each other, like with no type of GPS? Like she was literally just ending up at the same places that they were. But they go to the blind man, she had the blind man. They go to the store, she had the store. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then she just finds them asleep on the ground. There's no tracking device. There's no police help. This is just some regular girl driving around, and she just spot people. And then the dudes that was chasing Shia LaBeouf, same thing. Yeah. Like they don't have no. I'm sorry to cut you off. They don't got no hound dogs, no nothing. Like they're just tracking this nigga down. And then on top of that, the first time they catch him, they don't shoot him because, okay, buddy got the shotgun or whatever like that. Boom. My question is, so then why at the end of the movie, why aren't you trying to shoot him again? Like, why did you go with the little crowbar thing? Like, if you're trying to kill somebody, kill him. You know what I'm saying? Like, what did he think that was supposed to do? Like, he just wanted him to be like the Down syndrome dude or something? Like, he was trying to like slow his brain down? Like, I'm saying, what? I don't. If you were already ready to shoot this dude because he burned up $20,000 worth of your stuff,
$12,000.
I don't get. Okay, whatever. Apparently he needed that. And my last thing was, why the fuck did nobody take a shower this whole movie? Like,
thank you.
I'm like, first of all, I know this girl is not about to be traveling 2-3 days just raw cooch. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not gonna be a thing. Shia LaBeouf, he is constantly in and out of the water. He go in the water, and then as soon as he come out, very next time he out of the water, he had his full clothes dry. You know, and like it was. I'm just like I don't think y'all are realizing how much y'all are putting Shia LaBeouf in the water, and he's not wrinkled. He's not like him and the girl are up on each other. They got to be musty. Neither one of them has bathed. They've been running around. They've been swimming. So a lot of stuff like that for me, I felt like they. This is my last thing. I felt like they thought because the story and the journey was so good that we can skip over. Ain't nobody gonna pay attention to that, which most people probably didn't, but I did because I was thinking like this is a long journey of consistency, and there's no break in saying, hey, this is how we bathe in between time.
Well, to answer your question, the girl was following them. It makes sense that the girl was following them because she watched the video before she left.
Hold on, wait. Before you get into how that makes sense, it does not make sense because he stank. There ain't no way they're dealing with fish too. He also stank. Like he's in there spitting game, and she's supposed to be like, "Oh, I'm kind of smitten by your little wild moxie." It's like, do you smell like straight up fish, bro? Like you smell like Aquaman. This shit is not fucking gonna fly. So that was wild. But I don't know. Those are some of the things that I had issues with too. Just like how she just like if any other time someone pull up on you at a 7-Eleven talking about, hey girl, and they smell like fish and look like that, she's not going for you. Let alone let her full
because Shia LaBeouf was stank before we started the movie. Like when he showed up on screen, he was already stank. You know what I'm saying? So like that was my whole thing. Like I felt like once again, whoever the filmmakers, writers, whatever, they felt like nobody's gonna worry about that detail because the journey. I thought the journey was dope. Like I really thought like you got this person who you would think needs help. You know what I'm saying? He needs to be in this. They call it, the cage, whatever like that. But this facility who can handle somebody with Down syndrome, whatever like that. But he's like, nah, like I want to get the fuck out of here. The old man helped him escape in the middle of the night. You know what I'm saying? He running the Shia LaBeouf, whatever, and they both on this journey. But what I'm saying is like to me, I think that was two good setups of why like Shia LaBeouf running for his life, the boys running for his freedom, and I think that right there, as an audience member, I buy that. Like, I'm interested in this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everything, all the scenes in between, the performances with Shia and him together, phenomenal. Like, all of that was executed. But what I'm saying, I'm sorry, this is my last thing. But what I'm saying is the details in between that, you can't be that lazy with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't if you at least show me one scene of, hey, this is how I bathe while I'm on the run. Just like how they show.
They did.
The only thing that they stuck was that when they walked across the water when the tide was low or whatever, he was afraid.
That's not it. So both of your points. They show for the dudes, I don't know how they were following Shia LaBeouf, but for her, she saw that video and figured out where he was going. Follow the same trail down.
Well, there's also one thing I just want to say, not to cut you off, DA, but like if you look at a map of the Outer Banks, it's like this long, thin strip.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, is that what they want to do?
Like that the person is headed south, you just go way to the gas station. It's not like that hard.
How does she know?
Like the guys that were chasing him would know exactly where everything is. That's what they do.
To Lonnie's point, have you been to the Outer Banks before? Rudy?
You know I haven't. That's why you think I'm talking about this movie like this.
Okay. Because I've been there before, so I know what he's talking about. It's like there's only one thing in town, and you know what I mean. Like there's only a few amount of places that they would be, especially places that have like a little inlet where your boat can be or whatever. So that might be. I mean,
especially the fishermen that are chasing him, like they're gonna know every place.
Yeah, no,
but
your point, all I needed was just some product placement. Just put like a bottle of Axe. You know what I mean? Like accidentally stole some Axe, and it's like, okay, that's how it's like no one addressed the smells. It had like they were slapping fish on the counter and shit. They had
about peanut butter and fish hooks. Like that was his go-to. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no.
And she was with it. She was all.
There was no
frolicking
toothpaste. Like there was no nothing. What I'm saying, but even with the whole finding thing, you were saying that the girl watched the video. She watched. I don't remember her watching the video. The video was what, of him going to the wrestling school or something?
Yeah, she watched the video of what was it? Something redneck.
Yeah.
Oh, saltwater
redneck.
Yeah, she watched that video and she knew that was his favorite video. So she assumed that. At least I assumed that she assumed that he would be going there.
That's a lot of assumptions.
That's a big assumption too.
Multiple jumps.
To the point about how is it a big assumption? We saw him watching it.
But I'm saying for them to leave that for us, because I see a video. It ain't like I seen a video of him saying, "Hey, I'm going to go see Saltwater Redneck." Like she seen that video and was like, "Hey, he's probably going. That's probably where he wanted to go." Like to me, that's because we can assume anything. I don't even barely remember her watching the video. Honestly, I remember seeing a video of him on TV, but like I don't even remember her watching like that. Honestly, so I just don't think it was that. Relevant. But where was there a bathing scene that though? You said there was a scene they bathed.
There was a scene where remember that he had just got beat up and they kicked dirt and on him and spit on him and whatnot. Literally right after that, he's washing up, cleaning off in what looks like a little pond.
But I'm saying he was washing dirt off of him, like that physically was on him.
So therefore, you would apply that they're washing up in the water.
No.
I'm
talking about him waking up without getting dirt kicked in his face. Him waking up one morning and saying, "Because of my yesterday funk, let me wash my ass." Like that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about because somebody put dirt on you, now you want to bathe. No.
Rudy, to your point, he was visibly dirty.
Right.
Like visibly dirty. So you can see it there, which indication is they've been on the road. You know what I mean? So he's visibly dirty. There's no way that he don't smell.
I do think it was really gross that they ended up getting together. I didn't think them getting together was gross. I just think the fact that this made my opinion of Florida people. This brought my opinion of Florida people down because she gave him the time of day and he looked like that.
Who said they were Florida people?
Are they?
They're in Virginia,
North Carolina.
They are in North Carolina, but it is funny because I did assume Florida when I first saw the film.
Yeah, I saw.
He was trying to get to Florida.
Jekyll Island. I thought it was like Georgia.
You know what? The South. It's just the South.
First of all, they white, so let's be clear, okay? Let's be clear. I mean, I'm not saying all white people in the South like that, but what I am saying is they white, is what I'm saying. Okay, so
look, as soon as they pulled out the swinging rope, she said, "Fuck my job." She was
right.
willy-nilly.
She gave in so easily, like she didn't try to look. He didn't even throw the keys that far in the water. It ain't like he chucked them in the middle of the ocean. Like if you really was trying to get out of there, like you would have been like, she was just like, "Oh, Shire's cute. He's happy."
He got short arms. He couldn't have got through them that far.
Where's this man here? But I'm saying, like, it wasn't. She wasn't that pressed about trying to really get back. You know what I'm saying? Like she drank the Kool-Aid pretty easy. Is what I'm saying. Like she bought in. She was just like, "Fuck it, I'll just ride on this raft in the middle of the ocean or whatever stream, whatever the fuck this thing is."
The greatest moment of this movie has to be when he threw the wrestler out the ring.
That was the stupidest fucking way. Like,
come on, that was
the shit. It didn't even look real. You could tell he was not. You could tell.
I know it didn't.
The wrestler was stiff like this on him. Like he didn't have no slump. He was just like they sat him on a board. They was like, "All right, just sit like this, and we're gonna have the crane carry you while he's in front of it. And we're gonna put green screen." Like, and then they made him throw him all the way out. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you what I thought about that. I'm not even trying to be funny when I say this. I felt like that was a diss to that dude because they was trying to say like, "Yo, slow people really got like, like that extra crazy strength." Why couldn't he just have enough strength to get him up, slam or whatever? Like that was a big dude. You know what I'm saying? Right. Tossing him 30 feet or 30 yards down there, however long it was out the ring. I thought that was a bit much. He could at least just brought him right over, and that would have been good enough.
But
They went way too much.
It goes back to the beginning because remember with the whole picture, he had the pudding, and then he had him going the little drawing of him being super strong once he leaves. That's.
I know. I'm saying I get the whole super strength thing. What I'm saying is that the way that they decided to show that at the end, I felt like they could have done that same scene, let him pick him up, everything, but lessen the dramatics of the distance. Like, I mean, he Olympic shot put this nigga.
Have you ever witnessed something that you like, I can't believe it, and then you tell somebody and it'd be like, I know you ain't gonna believe this, but it really happened this way.
Right.
I feel like that's one of those moments. It was like, yo, I know you ain't gonna believe this, but the nigga really threw him like 10 feet out of the ring, and people be like, nah. It's like, you have to see it. It really happened.
But what I'm saying is, if I wouldn't have seen it, would have made me believe it more. Because the fact that I seen it was what made me think that it looked fake. Because it's the look of it. It's not the fact that it can't happen. It's the way that they made it look happen. I was just like,
I think their wire setup definitely made it look outlandish. But I thought it was funny. It made me laugh when I saw it. That was one of the moments where I was just like, what the fuck?
The guy who played the wrestler was casted great. Like that was a perfect.
Wasn't that Jake the Snake? I thought that was Jake the Snake.
I don't know, but that was the perfect, like, 30-year, just, never really made it, washed up wrestler. Like I thought that whole look and I thought that was good. I thought that was really, really good. I thought I think, like I said, even the, I guess, production design and everything, like, I think the movie looked great. I think it was even a great movie, great story. I just think they definitely got a little lackadaisical on some little minor details that, which, most times you can afford.
Yeah, bro, that's Jake the Snake.
Yeah,
you don't know who Jake the Snake is?
I know him as, like, but I wasn't, like, a fan. Like,
Jake the Snake was the man back in the day.
Yeah, your back in the day and my back in the day is a little different.
Okay. Thanks for bringing that up. Thanks for making
my back in the day is The Rock and Stone Cold. I Jake the Snake. Yeah.
Lonnie, do you remember Jake the Snake?
Lonnie's
a big wrestling fan.
How dare you with that beard? How could you not be a wrestling fan?
I remember Jake Plummer, the quarterback from the Denver.
They used to call him Jake the Snake. Yeah, there we go. That's funny. Yeah, but I enjoyed it. Otherwise, I did love the journey. I did think some of the I felt like I could tell in the acting that it was supposed to be ad lib for some of the scenes. And sometimes it'll take me out of it when I see that. It doesn't. There's just like a certain cadence that people have and a certain reaction to other actors that they have to really have a good chemistry to pull that kind of that impromptu kind of what's it called, improv type acting, that kind of Curb Your Enthusiasm interaction to make it look really natural. And I think some of it was done really well, but there were a couple scenes where I was like, okay, that's improv acting. They're supposed to play off each other. And
you talking about with Shia and the kid specifically?
No, not Shia the kid. I think Shia and the first scene, Shia with the old dude. That old dude seemed like he was, it was supposed to be like kind of an improv scene. And then I think later on there were a couple scenes too with a couple other actors. I think the Jake the Snake thing was also improv too. So it's always interesting. I would love to know, because I could be wrong. They could have just been bad actors, but I could see the little difference there. I don't know if did y'all pick up on that? Did y'all get that sense too?
It was just there all day.
For me, I mean, when it came down to improvisation stuff, for me, the only time my mind ever came across to think, like, I wonder if this was improv was when, like, it'd be certain scenes where, like, when Shia was asking the kid, he was like, yo, what's my number one rule or whatever, and he was like, party and different stuff like that. Like, because that little joke carried on for a while as they were entering into the woods or the journey or whatever. So, like, as that kept going, I was wondering, like, did they really practice that, or did that just kind of happen naturally and were able to keep it? You know what I'm saying? But for me, right, with the other scenes, I can't say that I saw anything that made me have a trigger of, like, oh, that seems improv. Outside of probably somebody just adding their own flair to a scene. Maybe grabbing somebody when the script may have didn't say grab them, but in the sense of like the whole thing for the improv, I didn't catch it. No.
For me, the improv, the scenes that I thought were improv were great. I mean, I thought that most of the scenes between Shia LaBeouf and I think his name is Zach were great. I mean, and they didn't seem canned at all. Like it didn't seem like overly rehearsed, overly practiced. It felt natural. It felt like two buddies like talking and hanging out and farting around, which I love. I love that in a movie. Whenever you can get that, it's kind of magic when you can find that in a movie.
Yeah,
they had great chemistry.
Yeah. I believe they're friends
definitely
in real life now. Like they became friendly.
Yeah, the kid and Shia definitely had great chemistry. That was pretty dope. And I think that might have been just natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a natural chemistry. It's just some of the other actors. It seemed like the other actors were very authentic, but not necessarily like actors. You know what I mean? But I love it. It still gave a real authentic feel to the film. Like you're really down in the. And here's another thing that I thought was interesting. It just seems to me sometimes Shia LaBeouf loves pain and punishment. So I could just only imagine the scene where he's getting his ass kicked. He's like, no, really push my face into the dirt and spit on me.
Yeah.
And they kick.
About that too,
like,
yeah.
damn, that was, there's no stuntman and nothing.
Bro, I thought about that same thing. When I seen that dirt get kicked in his face, I started looking close like, yo, is that really Shia or is that a stunt man? Like, and I was like, yo, no, he really took that dirt to the face.
Like, he also spit in his face too. It was also
yeah.
Do you know that movie Fury where they're in the tank?
Yeah.
I feel like
Shia LaBeouf, like he kept cutting his own face to like throughout the production of that movie, he would keep cutting his own face so that the thing on his face would stay throughout the film. So Shia LaBeouf is definitely dedicated to like pain and being uncomfortable. He would like sleep in the tank when they were filming the movie. So yeah, he's like a.
When you guys picked this movie, when the list got sent to me and it said Peanut Butter Falcon, I was like, what the fuck is this about? And then when I saw Shia LaBeouf, I'm like, oh, this is about to be some real shit, because he's known for kind of going the extra mile in his films to make them really good. And as much as I wanted to be kind of devil's advocate and advocate against it, I really think for an up and coming director like he is, this is well, I guess he didn't direct this. He just was in it.
He
But
just started.
yeah, he's just acting in it. But I feel like he's choosing his films really well, choosing his character really well. So
yeah, no. I when I first heard it, the name stood out to me as well, but the title of the movie. But my biggest fear, I honestly thought it was going to be a movie that it was going to be named Peanut Butter Falcon for some unknown reason, and when the movie went off, I was gonna have to come on here and ask y'all, why the fuck was this movie named Peanut Butter Falcon? So the fact that it was really a thing, I loved it. You know what I'm saying? Like that, because the Peanut Butter Falcon was his character of his overcoming. You know what I'm saying? Like him being strong, him being whatever. So I thought that was dope.
Not to mention his outfit or uniform was dope. Like when he came out with the Falcon, I was like, oh, this motherfucker is on some arts and crafts shit. That actually looks like a pretty cool outfit. I'd root for that guy. You know what I mean?
I'd root for that guy. Yeah, like I said, I thought it was really a really dope film. It looked good. Like I said, that scene with him almost getting hit by the boat or whatever, I thought that was real dope. Just seeing Shia LaBeouf just digging, just pull, just trying to get out of that water, pulling him, whatever like that, screaming, telling him to kick, and knowing for a fact, I forgot what his name was in the movie, but Zach, yeah, I'm saying what his name was in the movie, what his character's name was, but he was just telling him to just kick, and when I know him, he ain't kicking worth of shit. He just really just back there hoping that boat missed him. So I thought all that was a real.
He said, kick.
Right. I thought that was shot and edited very well, like just switching from the different angles to show like the above angle over the top, like how far the boat is from them and whatever, and then showing the close up on Shia just swimming hard. I thought all that was put together real well. That was a good sequence. And then even when it's all said and done, Zach not even afraid that he almost died. He's just like, yo, that's a hell of a story to tell. You know what I'm saying? Like to add to my story or whatever. So stuff like that just shows good writing. You know what I'm saying? That was a whole scene. He was afraid of dying from swimming. He almost get hit by a boat. And he was just like, oh, no, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. But and then the whole cool thing of like after it happens, you think he's going to be shaken up, and then he just taps him on the shoulder like, come on, let's keep it moving, bro. Like, that's a dope story. Let's keep it moving. And Shia's like, nigga, I almost got you killed. Like,
right. And Shia, even that scene when they first got together and he was trying to tell Shia LaBeouf that he needs like help or whatever because he got like a handicap, and Shia LaBeouf was like, I don't give a shit. Like he's just like I was just like the fact that he had to digress and still cursed at him because like that means I don't know what he was getting ready to say first. He probably think, I don't give a fuck you. You know what I'm saying? But he had to like hold himself back just to even say I don't give a shit. Like to me, like that means that he took whatever that line was, that scene, and really put himself in the mind of a person who's like bro, like I don't, like I feel bad for you. That's why I didn't say nothing when you was on a boat or whatever. But at the same time, like I got my own shit to worry about. You know what I'm saying? So like you over here talking about all these problems, like bro, I got problems too. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to keep up. And that's how he really felt like when they first met. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that was a good way as far as acting, really understanding who your character is in the moment that he's been put in and what to do to execute it, that the director or even the script may not have told you, to do. And that's me assuming he made that choice. I mean, the director could have told him. It could have been a piece of shit, so who knows? Right. Anyways, anybody else got anything else for the Peanut Butter Falcon?
Nah, that's it. I thought it was cool. I love how she was from this area and she just let her freak flag fly. Just like, you know what, let me get down on this. But that was I don't know why I even brought that up. It just that was fun. That was really funny to me though.
All right, so next movie, Message from the King, directed by Fabrice Duwels, starring, of course, the late great at this point, Chadwick Boseman. By the way, Chadwick Boseman's best performance to me out of all his movies was Get On Up. James Brown.
Oh, so good.
I mean, as far as people who transform, like his performance of James Brown is neck and neck with Jamie and Ray. Like as far as like me watching them and forgetting that I'm even watching this person. Like literally, that's the one movie that I never seen his face the whole time I was watching. Everything else, I would just like his performance, but he was phenomenal.
Like you saw, Ray Charles is not the personality that James Brown is. James Brown is not seems like an easy person to capture.
Right. Even with the dancing and everything, the dancing,
the hair, the voice, the body language. Really, that was a real underrated performance for sure.
For sure. But with this movie, what side are you guys on? Just give me quick likes and dislikes, and then we'll get into it. So Lonnie likes it. Dislike from DA. What you got, Glenn?
I enjoyed it. I have to, full disclosure, I did fall asleep through a certain part of it. So I woke up to some wild shit, but
let me ask you,
it for the most part.
Were you intoxicated in any way or full? Did you have itis, or was this just because of the?
I think I had itis. Okay. I had just eaten some good fried chicken, if you must know.
Gotcha.
Very stereotypical.
Gotcha.
And then I got itis in the middle of the show. So
yeah.
But
so you're on the side of liking it, or you don't like it?
I enjoyed it. I really liked it.
Okay.
It was really good.
I'm on the side of liking it. Not
all of you are bad.
I'm on the side of liking it, but I definitely got some shit. I definitely got some shit about this one for sure.
It was just boring. It was so slow. What was it doing? It didn't go anywhere until like the first encounter which was, I think, 30 minutes into the movie.
DA hates nuance.
No. No. I mean, this movie, it just was so slow. And I was like, we were watching it, me and Shania, we were watching it. And she was like, we watched the trailer first, and she was like, "Oh, so it's like Taken." And I'm looking at it, I was like, "This is not like Taken. Taken is far more interesting than this." And Taken, he actually gets to save his daughter. He come to America and find that his sister is dead. The only cool, best thing about this movie is the fact that at the end you find out, spoiler alert, you find out that he's a detective in whatever country he comes.
Mm.
But this movie was trash. It wasn't bad. I actually take that back. It wasn't trash. It just wasn't entertaining.
How dare you talk about the king like that? To be brought in front of the community and beheaded for talking about the king.
Speaking of his accent, speaking of, you know what?
I was getting ready to say that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Even in Black Panther, bro, like it is. Listen, it is hard. I don't know if it's just hard for people, for African Americans to execute believable African accents, but T'Challa and this nigga, I hated the accent. It sounded like it was somebody trying to, like, you know, what, like it almost sounded like he was like listening to, because even what's the name sounded like that when he was doing Mandela, like they were, what are you doing here? Like it's almost like, you know, like they're doing like a voiceover. Get away, you are doing to hey, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's always, why does the rasp have to be, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why it's always an extra thing, you know what I'm saying, that I have to look past. Like it's you know, I don't know.
You know what? I feel like this movie was a warm up for him playing Black Panther, because I believe after this he starred in I think he first starred in Civil War. So
I like this nigga as far as the Black Panther movie, not Civil War, but as far as the Black Panther movie, I like him better than I did like how they gave to T'Challa, because T'Challa, they made him a bitch in Black Panther. Like he was getting his ass whooped left and right. In this movie, at least I'm saying they did. Because in Civil War, the Black Panther was that nigga. Like he was ripping shit up. Yeah. And then he came to become the king, and I guess got a conscience or whatever, and he barely lost the first battle, you know, but ended up getting the submission move, got thrown off the fucking mountain, happened to live, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like he wasn't the same badass. So to me, in this one, I was wondering where he was getting the whole fighting thing from, whatever, and they were trying to allude it to the gang, whatever, but so the detective thing made sense, but to me, I just felt like he was more, you know, like I trusted him going into a fight more than I did T'Challa. Like when they, you know, T'Challa, like they was making him get his ass whooped in the Black Panther movie.
The hero always has to have the greatest battle. And Civil War, he wasn't the hero in that movie, so he was the hero in this movie, and he at least could fight. Is what I'm saying. Sure, he could fight. But even still, he almost died. He almost died to those cops. So what's your point?
Which brings me to my next point. You got all these fucking thugs and shit, and every time they attacking this motherfucker, they like, was this movie in the 70s? Why they swinging pipes and 2x4s and shit? Where are the guns? Where are the guns? Why is nobody shooting this motherfucker? Like,
I was like, why the hell is there a bat? Who the fuck is using a bat in 2020?
This nigga got a shoestring and he beating everybody's ass because don't nobody got a gun. He dropping little beads out. He just be because they doing close hand-to-hand combat this whole movie.
It was a bike chain, Rudy.
It was
bike.
It was a bicycle chain.
It doesn't matter if they had guns. That's my point. If real gangsters are not sitting there with fucking baseball bats in the back of pizzerias like this is the fucking 30s Italy, and they like, yo, who the fuck is behind my dumpster? Like, that's how they was acting, like they was in the fucking mafia. Shoot this nigga. Like, why aren't guns more present in this movie is what I'm trying to say. Why are they doing so much combat? He ain't dodging bullets, none of that. And then he get his ass beat by the police, damn near die, but then he get his ass beat with a pipe, and he chasing down the kid throughout the city.
And that makes no sense. How the fuck? Isn't that the whole goal of the movie, to find his sister and his sister kid? And then he loses the kid at the end, and then what happens? See,
Fuck
this
the kid.
is not that you guys
Fuck the kid. Fuck the kid. My whole question is, how did he get up after getting his ass demolished with a pole? This nigga beat it. This nigga was killing him with this pole. Like at least 15 times. He gets up from that, stumps this dude's head in. No broken bones from the pole. Stumps this dude's head in, and then go ahead.
Before you get there, you got to also ask, how the hell the dude with the mask even get there before he did? Because the dude with the mask was at the director's or whatever, that executive producer's filmmaker's house.
Executive producer, filmmaker, yeah, the dude who he was trying to get the money from.
Right.
But listen, brother, I don't know.
Listen, I was watching it, and you know how sometimes if you watch a conspiracy theory video, they'll put like, oh, they put these conspiracies in our movies and stuff like that. I was looking at it like, oh, is this a message from the Kings talking about how all these Hollywood people got these young kids tied up or laid up with them or whatever? Yes. I was like, is that what the message was actually like? Yo, we got to take out these Hollywood pedophile types. Did anybody else think that, or am I
did, for sure? I did like that. I did think that was a great hit, and I think that was a great subliminal message about the movie, especially with now. I don't know if it's on your timelines or not, whatnot, but all on my timelines, it's always talking about pedophiles and whatnot. And,
no, what you been Googling? What?
No, it's all my friends who are like just there.
You know the algorithm be pointing out things to you.
But yeah, I did like that it hit that point. Like I said, because of what's coming out now about all the pedophiles. But that doesn't mean that it's a great movie just because it hit a point.
I like the movie. Once again, I just don't. I feel like they forced this to be a karate movie almost. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this was like, because I mean there was literally like usually even when there's a badass beat people with combat or whatever, even if it is a bike chain, shoestring, whatever, they're usually dodging bullets, snapping the gun out their hand, flipping it back, shooting. Like there was none of that. Like everybody was just. Anytime he's here, he's staying at the white girl house. He's driving this car. Like, it's just always just beat. Even with the cops, beat. Let's just finish him off here. Nah, go get the car. Hey, who is that? Dang, he's gone. We lost him. Let's just say he's dead. Like, what is this? First of all, that they tried to sit up from the Lion King, which that didn't work in this scenario. Like, you can't assume Simba ran off and he's dead. You didn't kill this nigga. He ran off. He's still alive. Why would you even try to tell that lie?
But cops be shooting us real quick, so that was unbelievable. It was like, what? Right. They would have just shot him straight up.
And this is somebody who they were called to make a hit out on him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were supposed to kill him. That's the whole thing. But then they beat him. This is after he broke out of the car. My whole question is, why was this man not dodging bullets? If you the king, if you the badass, give this man some he need to do all that type of shit, man. That's what I want.
It reminded me of old school Steven Seagal movies, where he would just come out and bust everybody's ass up with that Aikido. This was like a bike Aikido.
I didn't see
I enjoyed the fact that this wasn't like a gun movie. I liked him beating up people with the bike chain. I liked him pouring the like acid on the dude's face. Like, he's inventive, he's creative, like he's African, he's not American. He doesn't have the same like tools that we do. He like uses whatever at his disposal.
He's a whole fucking law enforcement officer. He knows guns. He knows guns.
I mean, that's a great point. Like, there's more gun violence in South Africa than here by far.
But I'm saying, but even not with him, I'm saying the gangsters, the people who he was like, yo, where my sister at? And they knocking people off. Like, so why none of them have guns? They all chasing this dude down who's supposed to be so dangerous. They want him dead. They want him dead. Listen to these words. They want him dead, but nobody has a gun. Yeah, you don't want him dead, then. You don't want him dead. If we send enough niggas in here with baseball bats and poles and pipes, if somebody would kill him.
It's like, this is what happens when you have inexperienced henchmen on your team.
Right.
I
The
just,
only time somebody got shot was when he blew the nigga head off at the end.
yeah, I just feel, I don't, I did like the, I have to agree with Lonnie that the fact that there wasn't so many gunfights is a good thing, but there should have been at least one.
Well, he also makes the bomb out of stuff from the hardware store. Like I think they made a point to not put guns.
It was a
This is what I'm saying, Lonnie. Your favorite movie, First Blood, right? Rambo he was setting stuff or whatever like that, but they were shooting at him. You feel what I'm saying? Because they're police. So what I'm saying is, even if it's not a gunfight, somebody, if you're trying to kill somebody, you're not going to be coming there with just weapons. Like, this is not a video game. Like, okay, now that you pass this level, go to this next room, and this is gonna be, you got to beat the next. You know, like they were like putties, like Power Rangers or something. You know what I'm saying?
At least have them run out of bullets or something. Like just like,
or at least have him like disarm these guys or something.
Something, steal the guns, something like. But they all suited and booted gangsters. None of them strapped. Oh, we need this dude dead like we had his sister. Okay, strap up, everybody. Just beat all our asses. We over here not trying to shoot him. Like, so to me, that's what I'm saying. Then, so stuff like that to me, like I feel like you can't try to make people just overlook it because you're trying to throw the good parts at us, the good action scenes, the good whatever. Because there was a lot of, like I said, I'm on the side of liking, even though it probably doesn't seem like it right now. But I'm on this. I did enjoy this movie, but the lazy stuff for me, like the in between, like I feel like when filmmakers and stuff, when we get lazy on the in between, I feel like you shortchanging this. You know what I'm saying? Like at least if you at least put a scene in there where this is why they no longer have guns because he did X, Y, B, Z. Just like Shia burned up all their stuff, whatever like that, or they burned up Shia's boat or whatever. So like when the different stuff was getting burned up, you realize, okay, this is why they no longer have it. We didn't have to see them pour the gas on it. We didn't have to see them like you just see it real quick. Burn it up, find out, leave. Burn it up, find out, leave. Like it's a quick little insert to let us know what we don't necessarily have to keep seeing, but we know that it's a thing. And what I'm saying is,
I'm telling you guys,
I feel like they missed it.
This was the first movie. This was like Marvel came to Chadwick and they were like, "Look, we want you for Black Panther, but we need to know if you can pull it off."
Did this nigga just fall asleep?
No, I'm here.
What the fuck?
I got comfortable again.
Oh, it don't even like your eyes open right now. Like,
no, I'm totally here. They're totally open.
Oh, what you saying? What you saying, DA?
I was just saying that Marvel made him take this trash movie so they know he can do an accent and pull off some action.
This one, I mean, listen.
I'm pretty sure Civil War came out before this movie. This
movie came out.
I'm about to say it. I thought this. Let me look it up. Let me see.
Yeah.
But they both came out in 2016. So.
Which one came out first?
Yeah, I don't know which one came out first.
He still don't know which one he shot first, though. No matter when they actually.
I mean, no matter when it came out, they needed guns. You were absolutely right. There's no matter what year it wasn't the
Black Panther had
Wild Wild West.
That worked.
Even if it came out after Civil War, we could sum it up to he owed somebody a favor. Hey, I got.
I'm telling you, I think it was because I'm pretty sure this is during the period when he was sick, so he might have been like, yeah, I'll do this. I'll send this message out to the masses, be like, yo, these people they're hoarding children, like the youngins. I think it was his last little.
Well,
we gotta
also this movie is it's like a little bit of a noir film, and that's a big theme in noir movies is pedophilia, Hollywood pedophiles, and also like corrupt police and politicians taking place in LA. That's a genre of movie. So
yeah, absolutely. I think they hit it well. I like the kind of slow pacing of it, even though I did fall asleep for a hair.
You don't pick this movie.
No, I know, that's why I felt so bad about it, but I did feel like it was good. I was a little bit sad too when he, because I got a sister, so just thinking about your sister being far away and then traveling to go make sure she's okay, and you find out she was out there.
I know she's selling kids.
And her coochie. She's selling her kids and her coochie. And then, ends up meeting her end like that. That was hard for me. I need to take a nap after that.
My question is, what was the point of the bitch ass boyfriend who walked in almost getting his dick sucked, and he just leaves the bathroom
and
crying?
He's so mad.
he doesn't try to fight nothing. He's just like, what are you doing?
Have you ever been in that situation before where you was about to get topped off, and then a boyfriend come in and he has to leave angry?
I have not.
He's like, oh, my bad, man. I don't know what to tell you. But
my whole thing is, was Chadwick's character actually getting ready to go through it? Because he wasn't stopping nothing. Like, he wasn't stopping his questions, but he wasn't stopping her kissing him, pulling his dick out, nothing. He was just about to just take the head and keep getting answers.
He was doing that old puppy dog. Oh, I don't want to do this, but I got to look.
When is the last time you seen my sister? He was about to get one answer one way or the other.
Rudy, by the way, your African accent was pretty good.
It was pretty good imitating their bad ones. Just like Will Smith on fucking Concussion.
Bro, there was a line in here where he's like, "Tell the truth," and that's exactly
what
I was.
Exactly, it was just like Will Smith on Concussion.
I was like, so when you take a movie with an African accent, you have to say, "Tell the truth."
You have to say, "Tell the truth," because you're lying. Because you're lying about the accent, for sure.
Tell the truth.
Yeah, like I said, for me, I think it's sometimes, man. And this is no diss to Chadwick or anybody who's a part of Wakanda or anything else, but unless it's like a comedy like Coming to America, where the accents ain't gonna really matter, because this whole thing is it's not a spoof, but it's a fictional world, if you will. You know what I'm saying? That's supposed to be a comedic spin to it. But like when you're trying to like be legitimate with Africans, like I think you just probably need to find more African actors. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's what's the there's a lot of black roles which Chadwick has done and others can do that don't require them to have to, really dig deep in this. Like, it's one thing if like you got somebody who either was, is African but was born in America, but because of their parents, like they could go back and forth between the two, you know what I'm saying? Like, so they may be kind of Americanized in their upbringing, but they still grew up in an African household. They, probably know how to speak the native language, so on and so forth. But when you just trying to just imitate, it gets rough. And that's for anything. I've heard people do like bad Philadelphia accents, New York accents, Jamaican accents, fucking Tay Diggs and Stella Got a Groove back. His accent was horrible.
You know who did a good job, though, is Don Cheadle in Hotel Rwanda. Like, he was really – I liked him a lot in that film.
Yeah.
I give it up to Chadwick because he's one of the few actors currently that's not British right now, because it's almost like we can't get American actors anymore because all the Brits are doing, like, much better job at being
that
American.
Reminds me, Idris Elba in that in Beasts of No Nation, he had a good accent, too.
Yeah.
But see, with him, because I hear his English accent, like I heard that kind of mixed in with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's like, to me, the Don Cheadle, I think, like, was good. I think, I don't know. It's just hard for, like, it's passable. A lot of them are passable. Like, you can deal with it, but I can hear maybe it's because I know their real voice as well. I don't know.
But also, I think Don Cheadle, he didn't overdo it. He didn't like overemphasize anything. He was very like soft-spoken. He wasn't like yelling or emphasizing or like what you were saying, extra raspy or anything.
Right.
It just sounded like a dude talking. It didn't sound overly. And Idris Elba also, maybe he was a little performative in his accent.
His had that same, where are you going? Like that same.
Look at me.
Right, yeah, it's real,
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, it's like they're acting, you know what I'm saying? It's not that they're doing a bad accent, but it's not. It doesn't make me feel like, oh man, like they really figured this out. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, we're talking all this shit about African accents. I think everybody should give their best African accent, just so we could make it see if like it's as easy for us.
I have an all-time best African accent. You guys are not going to like it though.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to tell you who did the best African accent I've ever heard in my life. You ready?
Who
Leonardo DiCaprio, Blood Diamond. Unmatched. You cannot touch that.
He's Africa, South African.
So good.
I would have to see Blood Diamond. I seen Blood Diamond a while ago, but I don't even remember the accent.
No, I remember. It's very South African. You remember?
But like perfect, and he does like other African.
But South African is like, I mean, white South African is like, they almost sound like Australian or something.
It's close, but it's not exactly the same. It's it's like, Australian is one of the hardest accents, but South African is even harder.
And plus, that's
oi.
DiCaprio. That man is a phenomenal actor.
No, but hold up. Chadwick did a lot of research to get these African accents down. He actually did study a lot. So I think he executed them well. I don't think he executed them bad. That's why I said, if we all tried to do an African accent, I'm sure ours would come out sounding.
Hey, I'm not the one complaining.
That's what I'm saying, but I'm not auditioning for one either.
So no one here is going to take me up on the challenge. I actually
liked his accent in this movie. I thought it was pretty good.
I did too.
1 week.
There we go. Yeah.
No.
Me and Lonnie are on the same page.
You and Rudy over here saying he had a bad accent. We got it. We heard.
I didn't say he had a bad accent.
Nah, we all agree. His accent. I thought his accent was okay.
I didn't say it wasn't. I don't think it was bad. I just think I could just tell that he was,
What
are you saying, boy? What are you saying?
Yeah, it wasn't. It just didn't seem authentic. It didn't seem authentic. Like,
have any of you guys? Do you guys remember the movie with Ice Cube where he goes to South Africa?
That sounds so familiar.
This is like the opposite of that movie. It's like the exact same thing. He like goes to find his sister.
Does he have a bike chain?
What is it?
Does he have a bike chain?
No, in that movie he has an AK-47.
Cube, I'm shooting my
like,
I do remember.
Moved to LA when he was a boy, and then he comes back. I think because his sister gets murdered.
Yeah, I think I do recall that somewhat. I don't.
And it has Elizabeth Hurley in it. It was a good movie, man. I like that movie. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
What, you got a gang fight in a couple minutes? What's going on?
Yeah. Gotcha. All right. Anything else for a message from the king?
Don't give it any time, guys.
It's good. You should check it out.
It's definitely worth watching, especially for a Chadwick Boseman tribute. If you're on that tip, definitely worth it.
Exactly.
It's not his best performance. You're just going to disgrace him.
I didn't have a problem with his performance at all.
Me neither. I thought it was
I thought his performance was very, very good. It just was
convincing badass that would fuck you up with a bike chain and acid in your face.
Yeah, he's just gritty.
I think he should have been shot at a long time ago, but other than that, I mean, he was.
Maybe not on the first encounter, but definitely on the second encounter. After he burnt my face with acid, I'm bringing the heat.
I mean, I'm trying to kill this motherfucker.
I mean, it would just make sense that after one of your associates got their face melted off, you would bring your gun to work with you just in case.
Just in case, right? We don't have the insurance for this. We don't have the insurance for this.
just off the strength. So, whatever.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Last but not least, Beats, a Netflix original, directed by Chris Robinson, starring Khalil Everidge and Anthony Anderson. I'm going to start off by saying, complete ass. Okay?
Wow.
This movie was complete boo-boo.
Wow.
Boo to the boo. Capital B-O-B-O. All 4 O's and B's, and they all capitalized. O, I guess. Yeah. I thought some of the beats were hard. So I thought some of the music was dope.
I thought the exact opposite. I thought they were trash.
But no, I thought some of the beats were dope. But the movie itself.
So that whole hook didn't get you guys?
The love one, that shit was awful.
What?
I like that.
I'm saying the hook of the movie, not the hook.
No.
What was the hook of the movie?
His sister getting shot. That was the hook.
But my whole thing is, see, to me, I felt like, for one, that harsh of a killing scene was not even warranted for what had just happened. Like, this was like, because for one, none of these people seemed like real gang members or thugs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So this didn't seem like it was going to be a movie that we're going to literally see somebody get their brains blown out. You know what I'm saying?
Why did he even shoot at him? Because he pissed on the wall? Like, it didn't make any sense.
Well, the violence in Chicago don't make any sense.
That is
right. But what I'm saying is, but the violence in Chicago and the tone of a movie is two different things. Like, you see the very first barbershop in all of them, but it takes place in Chicago. So, like, it's suggested that, like, there's danger in the neighborhood we live in, whatever. But the tone of the movie is a comedy, so they're not making it like, you know, bam! You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, that's the same thing with this movie. Like, it came on, these little kids running because we pissed on the wall, and yeah, man, you know, they trying to get us, blah, blah, but you are big homies in the game, so you save us when they see your gun. So then now my sister come get me for dinner, and then everything's cool. This is a happy-go-lucky movie, fake thugs, everything. Like, the tone is good. And then not only she dies, we see her get her brains blown out from behind. Never even see it coming. It spills out. Like, this is a traumatic scene for something I feel like wasn't even leading up to something that deep. So
it was like off tone. The tone of that scene was off.
The point of this movie hit something that's really important that the Black community doesn't really acknowledge. Oh, hold on. Real fast.
Are you going?
I would agree with that.
I feel like this movie talks about the traumatic stress that some of this violence puts on, you know, Black people that we don't acknowledge. His mom locked him, instead of getting him some help, his mom locked him in the house.
But it also acknowledged it for like 8 minutes, and the rest of the movie was like, in order to get out, you have to be a successful musician.
Exactly.
No,
exactly.
The whole
exactly.
No,
like, if you don't have a
listen to me, bro. Listen.
It's about him actually going back into the world.
Right, but this is what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, the only connection that we were able to hang on to with the whole violence was that it affected him by keeping him inside. But it wasn't necessarily pointing out like, oh, no, this is a violent place. And because even when he went outside, there was never another shootout while he was outside. There was never, you know, he was just going out and about doing that.
There were a ton of gunshots. And there are a ton of.
But they only let you hear gunshots while he was still in the house. When he went outside, there was never any. He went to a club. Like, the only thing he had to worry about going outside was his mom. It was really his mom finding out. That was the only thing about the whole thing.
I felt like the danger was always implied in the film. Like, I definitely got a sense.
But it was. I don't feel like the movie was about that, because to me, I felt like Lonnie said, it felt more about. This felt like Hustle and Flow Jr. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking Anthony Anderson. He's trying to get his shit together. You know what I'm saying? So he found a kid with some talent, whatever, blah, blah. This kid afraid to come outside, so on and so forth. So he's trying to help him get over that. I get that. But to me, that didn't make me think about the violence much. Like, it just made me think about, like, okay, is Anthony Anderson going to be able to unfuck whatever he did to some dude, Tone, or whoever? And is this kid, you know, going to be able to get his mom out the hood? Like, that's where my mind went, because that's what it...
there.
Anthony Anderson repeated that the whole movie. I mean, if you want to get... I mean, if you look at your situation, this don't look like a... And first of all, I hate when people try to make thug or rap movies or whatever, and people just start sounding corny instead of just sounding like natural Black people. Just talk. Like, stop trying to, like, you calling the kid digger and stuff. He don't even like you say it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just too much of just trying to build this world. That didn't even really feel like they shot it in Chicago. It felt like, you know, it was on like a Disney set somewhere. Like, they tore down Whoville and built this neighborhood and was just like, you know, she gonna die here or whatever. Like, it's like, to me, it just was.
Look at
it wasn't a good movie, bro. It wasn't.
And also, how did he sample her singing that she sung on the street? and then he somehow had it recorded and was able to.
I don't know how that happened, but the whole movie, that's not what I'm here for. The whole movie, this Anthony Anderson was helping, I don't remember the kid's name, was trying to help him basically go out into the world. That's what the whole movie was about. This kid had this PTSD. They actually were making fun of him at the beginning. Those girls, they kept calling him a bitch, and he couldn't go out there. He said, I couldn't. It first started, I couldn't go out at night, and then next thing you know, I wouldn't be able to. I start having a panic attack at school, and so.
DA, but what about all of the kids that experience that exact same thing, but who are not the next Kanye
West? They acknowledged that too, Lonnie. The little kid, his little friend, yes, they did. His little friend, they were fighting, and what happened? Oh, a gun fell out. And he's like, you're not out here protecting me. You're not out here, you don't have my back.
That's true.
This is a great
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Hold on, wait. This is what I'm saying. Because the girl also acknowledged too. She said, both my brothers got killed. I'm still out here. I get that. But this is what I'm saying, though. Him going outside wasn't because he was afraid of getting shot again. Like it didn't have nothing to do with the violence. He was just shooken up just as a person. So like, because once again, if it was about the violence, then in this movie, when he goes out somewhere and they're sitting eating ice cream or a hot dog, you would hear gunshots and that would trigger. This is why I didn't want to come out here in the first place, because
when he did that, once people started, like, there was a moment, wasn't there, when a bunch of kids got startled or whatever, and it like triggered this PTSD, but it wasn't a gunshot, it was something else that like triggered him to.
He got triggered even by just people arguing or whatever. But what I'm saying
right. That's what I'm saying. That shows it.
But that's what I'm saying. But his journey to get back outside wasn't to overcome the reason he was inside in the first place. Is what I'm saying. That's my whole point. Like it wasn't like he was afraid of guns or gunshots, because once again they showed one scene of him being inside the house hearing gunshots and ducking or whatever. But anytime he was outside the house, it was never gunshots. And that was the reason he was inside in the first place.
How many gunshots do you want?
The one time he did go outside, after he had this somewhat great experience with Anthony Anderson, going out, he got the girl, and then he goes out into the world. He comes back, and the police attack, and he had a taste, and then he's like, okay, this is not so bad. I can do this. I can do this. And then, boom, this nigga having a panic.
But that is not the reason he was inside in the first place. That's my whole point. He wasn't inside because of no police.
No, he was inside because he was having panic attacks.
But he was having panic attacks because he witnessed his sister get shot and he got shot. So what I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. So if you're trying to overcome the whole shooting thing, then getting back outside, what should be stopping you is, I don't want to get shot again, because his mom was trying to keep him inside, because she was like, I'm not going to bury you. Like, because he even said it. I went outside a couple times, I freaked out, she kept me inside or whatever, and that became a whole thing. But for him to overcome it coming outside, if he's not overcoming the gun violence, which is what he experienced and his sister died from to get him inside, then what is he overcoming?
It's like the violence of the world.
But he never went back out to violence.
No,
he never went back out to violence.
If you have PTSD, it's not one thing that triggers it. It's the act of violence. My cousin. No. Listen to me. If you have, let me finish.
You're wrong.
Let me finish. My cousins, they came back from the war. They don't freak out when they hear gunshots. I've never seen them hear gunshots, but they get grabbed the wrong way. That's startled. Apparently, that almost
because that's combat. There's more things. Listen to me. There's more things to get startled from than just gunshots. It's not like when you're in combat, it's only gunshots. Like there's a lot of ways to die or get captured or whatever. So all of that stuff is going. But listen, to what I'm saying, all that stuff is going to have you on edge. But like if somebody got started from a gunshot, they can hear a door slam and it startles them. Granted, they hear the door slam, but it reminds them of what started them in the first place. Is what I'm saying. Whatever you experience, something about that is going to remind you of what you experienced. I know a dude who did a lot of time in jail. He sleeps very light now. Like if I walk into the room, I can tiptoe. He's going to wake up no matter what. No matter how quiet you are, he's going to wake up. Right. And that's because of but he's not doing something that had nothing to do with jail. His trauma came from sleeping in jail and being attacked, and so now he sleeps light. So what I'm saying is your reaction or your overcoming is going to be from what put you in bondage in the first place. And his bondage came from him being shot and his sister being shot, but that's not what he overcame. He had to just get enough confidence to go out the house so that him and his mom could make it out the hood off of his beats.
Can I bring up another point that's a little unrelated to this? Did you guys not know exactly how this movie was going to go from the first couple of minutes of it?
It was predictable the whole way. That's what I'm saying.
The second I saw Dave East, I'm like, he's going to be good, and then he's going to be bad.
What this movie is about. And Rudy, you're a part of the problem. You know, you're so wrong that you woke up Shania and now she pissed because she listened to your bullshit. The problem.
I didn't tell you to do a podcast in the same room as your sleeping wife.
The problem is, this movie is saying that we as Black people have post PTSD that we don't acknowledge.
I understand that. I'm not arguing that. But what I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. But when you give your protagonist a journey, the journey is going to be to overcome what gave him that journey in the first place. So his journey didn't start from just a pin on the wall. It didn't start from just somebody chasing him. Him and his sister got shot. So it's not like he heard about somebody getting shot, his best friend died. Him and his sister got shot. So as a result of that, now I'm inside. And in order for me to want to come back outside, I need to be trying to overcome my fear of being shot again. And what I'm saying, listen to me, wait. So what I'm saying is, there was never a point of time in the movie that he was overcoming being shot again.
Never.
He was just overcoming.
He just goes outside again.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
There's no resolution.
Is that he's afraid of going back outside.
But the movie is
the outside world.
Listen, here's the thing. The name of the movie is Beats. The reason why is because he was trying to find his beat, trying to find his rhythm. It's all about trying to find your rhythm after tragedy. And that's what he did. And that's what Anthony Anderson helped him to do.
Slow things down. That was a cool message. I like that.
But this is what I'm saying. But that had nothing to do with him getting shot again. What I'm saying is, I get that Anthony Anderson was the angel in disguise. He was the angel in the outfield. He was the sixth man. He was the person coming in to try to help this man overcome. But what I'm saying is, he wasn't overcoming what put him in bondage. Is what I'm saying. You could try to sound deep and say, the beats, he had to find the beats. But the beats that he lost had something to do with him being shot. And he was, all that speeding up and anxiety and stuff like that, that was triggered from everything else but guns. There was never a time where they had guns going off and it was triggered. It was just my mama arguing, the police doing this. I'm playing music too fast.
But like DH was saying, the trigger doesn't have to be the same thing that happened to him. It's like the thing happened to you, it triggers you when you hear a loud noise or people arguing. And people don't know why it triggers you that way, but it just does. So that was the thing. He had a traumatic experience, and this is the way it shows up, because you notice a lot of people, especially in the Black community, when they have these type of anxieties and PTSD symptoms, they're not always triggered by the same thing that caused them. Just like someone who survives like sexual assault, they might lash out in a different way. It might not be sexual. It might be with drugs. It might be with alcohol. It might be all kinds of.
That's a fair point. But my question is, how does he overcome any of his fear about going outside?
by making better beats.
Anderson there.
You need to make
making better beats.
He's like, he had to make better beats. Like, yo, if I make some hot shit, I could go out again.
That's what I'm saying. He was already making better beats when Anthony Anderson found him.
Nah, when Anthony Anderson found him, he was like, it's okay, but it's a little bit trash. But do that.
Bro, listen to me.
Go ahead,
bro. Listen to me. Him getting shot is what put him inside in the first place. That was the inciting incident of the movie. That was the inciting incident. Even when he came back 18 months later, whatever, they did the whole stand in the mirror, touch the bullet hole. Like, that's what this was about. His mom even told him, you're going to bury me, not the other way around. Her whole goal was to keep him from getting shot. He was the only person not worried about getting shot again. That's my whole thing. Like,
I feel like every movie
was also worried about it as well. That's why she was sitting up late at night, and he was like, "Oh, your ankle's gonna be swollen," because she's stressing too. I feel like you guys didn't fucking watch this damn movie.
I did watch it.
Why does every movie watch it? Like, there needs to be more guns. There needs to be more guns. Why ain't they shooting?
Because they're writing scripts for guns, and then we're bringing knives. Is what I'm saying, and it's not making sense. I didn't tell them to write these screenplays. They wanted to write this gangster ass shit. Well, if you're gonna go gangster, you gotta go gangster. Is what I'm saying.
Seriously, you got Dave East, and don't use him.
right.
Trash.
I think you guys need to understand that him. If Anthony Anderson was never came into this kid's life, never came into this kid wouldn't have. Nope. Let me.
If Anthony Anderson wasn't in this movie, I wouldn't have watched it. Is what I was about to say. Like, that's how much he saved this kid.
This kid would have never gone back outside. What was Anthony Anderson doing?
Nobody's arguing that.
Yeah,
the point is, I'm not. No. We're
telling you how he went back outside, and that's through the help of Anthony Anderson.
But him going back outside, the reason he went back outside, him going back outside, none of that he overcame was what put him inside in the first place. So that's almost like saying, I beat the Lakers if I never played them. Like, how did I overcome something that was never my competition in the first place? They
create an issue and never resolve it.
Exactly. That's a huge issue.
But
so he goes outside to like go to concerts and sign his contract and do all that stuff, which is great. But it's like, okay, and then in the next scene, he's back at school. How? What happened? Like, why is he back at school? Because of Anthony Anderson?
The friend who came back to the house with the gun never came back.
They did say 11 weeks later.
Okay, but I'm saying 11 weeks later, is that it's just time that was the resolution? Like, really? I'm saying is like, you're going to have this movie, which is very, very like obviously about, you know, the Black life of PTSD and what it does, and talks about trauma. And it basically says that one thing I do like is like, okay, in order to overcome your trauma is that you might need some help. You might need an Anthony Anderson to come and get you out of your slump, right, and do all this stuff. But how? Like, take away the music.
I think you guys.
The music was the whole part. The music was the whole thing.
Okay, so what is this movie about? Is this movie about a young Kanye West who's trying to like make it? Or is this movie about the Black struggle of being a Black man in Chicago who's getting shot at? These are two different stories that you're trying to tell.
Like I said, it's about finding your rhythm after sudden loss, because there is no resolution after a sudden loss like that.
Okay.
But it wasn't just a loss,
he had to find his rhythm after a sudden loss of somebody he cared about. But it
wasn't just a loss. He also got shot, though. He also got shot.
The point is don't you guys see that it's problematic to say that the only way you're going to resolve any of your trauma is that if you're a fucking musician or a ball player or a rapper?
I don't, because Dave Chappelle said the same thing. He's like, I don't know, you better play ball and dance and start entertaining these white folks.
That's exactly what I thought of, is that Dave Chappelle bit. That's problematic.
Right.
I agree. That did come up in my mind. I was like, this is again the only thing.
But Dave Chappelle is not agreeing with that. Dave Chappelle says
he's making fun of it. Right. He's making fun of it. Right.
But this movie is like, no, if you get shot, you better fucking dance or better rap.
Right.
Hey, look, there's some truth to it till there's not.
Oh, you think about it. Okay, think about it. The family didn't go to a therapist. Anthony Anderson is the therapist. And the music is how this kid is coping.
I understand all that.
Yeah, nobody's debating
I'm not
that.
arguing with it. It's just
okay.
DA is literally arguing that wall right now. He is talking about nothing nobody's arguing against.
I'm not.
Bro, we understand that Anthony Anderson came in to bring him outside. What we're saying is,
y'all saying that this music is. Lonnie was just saying that the movie is either about this young prodigy or black trauma, and I'm like, it's about both, and it's about how this kid, this artist, was coping using music to deal with his.
That's still problematic though. That's
y'all are saying y'all wanted them to do something different. Like y'all wanted them to be like a badminton star or some other shit. Like instead of like a rapper.
No, not a star. What I want him to be is Cuba Gooding Jr. in Boys in the Hood, which is just a normal human being
kid
trying to live his life.
You wanted
why can't that be normal? That's a whole different person.
Well, no, Finding Forrester, he's also a fucking genius, prodigy genius.
Right. Because see, the thing about it is, DA, Anthony Anderson's character kept saying repeatedly, if you want to get you and your mom out of this situation, do the music thing. I can get you home. I can buy. So going to Lonnie's point about it being problematic, we already have that stereotype of, because that kid, like they suggested, isn't the only person who was going through trauma in that hood. But he was the only person who seemed to have a shot because Anthony Anderson seemed he can make beats. And when you're making a movie, you're delivering a message. That's the message that people are going to watch this movie and see.
Well, here's another message, is that Anthony Anderson is taking advantage of this abused, terribly dysfunctional child in order to make money for himself.
Right.
So I think y'all would have liked
the message I got.
So if the kid would have had Down syndrome and Anthony Anderson was Shia LaBeouf, y'all would have liked it better. That would have been a better.
Yes.
But see, the thing about it is, with Shia LaBeouf and that kid, they had two different journeys that fit them. Like, I'm getting out of this home.
Nah, but it's the same.
I'm getting away from here. But with them, going back to my particular point of, boom, your sister get killed and you get shot all in one stroke. Boom. Okay. Now that's what puts you inside. Now we're watching this coming of age or this overcoming movie, whatever like that, and me and Lonnie are watching this as viewers. We didn't watch this together. We're two totally separate races, two totally separate people, and we watched this and we both, our minds thought about the whole music thing. Yeah, him coming outside, because even when he was going outside, I was anticipating something happening, like not necessarily him getting shot, but shots being fired and him freaking out and saying.
Point. That's like you had the same anxiety that he has. You're anticipating that, and it never happens. But he still had to like fear it.
But he didn't have the anxiety. When he was outside. When he was outside eating with that girl and they was talking on the bench, he wasn't looking around waiting for gunshots.
But that's supposed to show you that the girl calms him. She makes him not.
She didn't. He didn't even go to prom.
Anthony Anderson at the fucking party kept saying, "Nia, get him. Nia, get his back."
Exactly. But this is what I'm saying. But that wasn't because he was like, "Hey, yo, somebody might start busting in this motherfucker."
Yes, he was. You can
He was. He
didn't want him to freak out because he knows that he gets anxiety in crowds and a lot of.
Why does he get
anxiety? Can I just say one thing?
From gunshots. From gunshots. Go ahead, Lonnie. Go ahead.
This movie does some things. It does some things, but it doesn't do them well. Like, DA, I will admit that it does the thing that you're trying to say, where it addresses PTSD. Anthony Anderson is a great figure for him. You know, he needs that role model. He needs that stuff. It does those things. It just doesn't do them well. It's not a great movie. It's not a good movie.
I'll throw this out there. The boy is trapped inside, but then Anthony Anderson is also trapped inside of like his job and his life, which is he's trying to get out of too. And through connection, they find a way out together. If you think about it, it actually is kind of an exact mirror to the story of the Peanut Butter Falcon.
But Anthony Anderson, I hold true. His overcoming dealt with his situation. What I'm saying is the kids did not. That's my whole point. Anthony Anderson was overcoming his situation.
But after that traumatic experience, he retreated into the music, because at the beginning he wasn't even into music like his sister was. He took in the music after she was murdered. Like, that was what drove him towards the music, is after she passed away, because she is the one.
But no, he was already making music, because remember, she said that your beats are too fast.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. She was really into the music, and he wasn't as into the music. But then after she got murdered, that's what really forced him inside, and then he really got more into what he was doing, and he was almost kind of carrying the torch for her. But
he still never overcame what put him inside.
I just find it interesting that it literally is kind of the same story, the buddy story, the unwilling buddy story of Peanut Butter Falcon, but it's just set in the setting. And for one, y'all are like, I really like this, but for this one, it's kind of the same thing, but it's you don't.
Well, I think the Peanut Butter Falcon was executed much better than this movie was.
I think they were executed about the same.
Look, I'm gonna say two things. All right, because Shania's over here yelling at me, and you guys can't see her, but she over here. She texted me this whole message to tell you guys this. She said, this movie is about his journey overcoming the guilt that he feels for being responsible for his sister's death. He feels like he ruined his family. We do see these two things. And then she also heard somebody say this is a gangster movie, and she said, "Bold caps, this is not a gangster movie."
It's not. Nobody said.
I don't know who said that, because
I said it was fake gangsters is what I said, because like they wasn't believable, because they was trying to be a hood thing. But it's not a gangster movie, which is why I was saying tonally it didn't make sense for his sister to get her head blown the fuck off in front of him. That was my point.
I thought it was jarring. Yeah.
But my second point, this is a phenomenal movie because it's making us argue so much.
It's a phenomenal movie. Get the fuck out of here. No, it's phenomenal.
I'm saying phenomenal as an art piece, because as art, it's supposed to cause an emotion, a reaction. You're supposed to get something out of it. And we're having out of the first two, we didn't debate it like this at all.
That's because everybody liked them. That's why.
Nah, I didn't. I'm the reverse. I like this better than Peanut Butter Falcon.
I mean, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, I mean, I'm not gonna lose sleep over either film. I'm not gonna rewatch either one. But what I'm saying is, this one is the one where, like, I just flat out did not like it. I've seen this type of story before, so it wasn't in the sense of, like, you know.
Because it's Peanut Butter Falcon.
I'm saying because Peanut Butter Falcon, like, I'm not like arguing it should have been up for like the Oscar, you know what I'm saying? But I thought it was a good film. But I had a lot of discrepancies with its whole setup. But with this one, to me, like, I felt like the gun scene was a lot for the tone of this movie. But then once it became a thing, I don't see how that's not what we're riding on for the rest of the movie. Like, it should be about not just, because, like, Simba getting over Mufasa dying is because, like, Simba didn't fall. Like, they didn't die together. Like, he, you know, like, there was a thing he tried to get saved and then somebody died. But, like, you got shot as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, that's a thing. Like, it's the whole gun violence thing. So him coming outside, I get it. I get Anthony Anderson helping come outside. I just think that the reasons that they gave us for him to come outside just didn't match up with what they led with in the incitement.
Like, they showed him overcoming it, but they didn't show how, really. They didn't, like, do the work.
They just showed time pass. 18 months later, 11 weeks later. They just was like, nah, fuck this. Like, we're done.
You do it. You figure it
out. He's over. He's at school now.
I think one of my other problems with this movie is it's a movie about music, and the music was mediocre at best.
I can give you that.
Like, I didn't like every song, but I thought certain one or two beats.
Like when Hustle and Flow came out, for example, that shit was bumping. Like, that shit became part of, like, culture. Like,
Hustle and Flow was a good movie though.
Look at real fast. You want to know how it wasn't? He overcame being able to go outside. What was the one beat that he could not use the whole time? The sister track. the sister track. Y'all don't fucking pay attention to the damn movie.
I know the sister sample that we don't know how he got in the first place.
More sister sample that he got from Mars.
I feel like what's happening is I feel like they did answer some of these questions that y'all have in the film. You just didn't like the answers that they gave you, and I think that's what we're coming down at. Because I thought the answers that they gave were good. They were sufficient for me.
The fact
and
that
I think EA feels like they were good for him too. But y'all just don't like the answers that they had to the issues that y'all have with the problem. I thought that the answers were on point.
Well, that might be fair, like saying that his way out was through music and stuff, and that's great. But yeah, I don't like that. I think that's bullshit. I think that's
but it's not even just about the answer. My whole point is it's still the inciting incident.
Nigga, you want more guns. I know what you want. They ain't shooting enough. They need more guns.
I never expected somebody's head to be blown the fuck off in the first place. When this movie came on, nothing about somebody being shot was going to happen. So when I seen it, my mind is locked into that for the rest of this movie. Like, this now has to be about this.
You have PTSD then.
Look at. I just, I don't know, man. I think it was a very moving movie. I'm done debating with you people. God damn it, you guys who don't watch the movies. And so
I'm shocked you even like this one. I mean, maybe you listen to Anthony Anderson beats on your spare time.
The only problem with this movie was I felt like it was a little too long, and that's really it.
I didn't pay attention to the length, honestly.
The fact that you didn't pay attention to it, that means you were intrigued the whole time. But you apparently weren't.
I mean, I like all the movies that we play. Like I'm going to watch them. Like they're going to have my focus because I'm going to pay attention to everything. But intrigued, I wouldn't say. I watched the whole time, but I was not intrigued. Like I was ready for it to go off, but it wasn't because I felt like it was too long. I just felt like this just wasn't it. Like it wasn't.
That's very apparent. That's very clear.
It felt like another Netflix movie. Like Netflix Netflix original movies, they don't hit as hard as their TV shows. In my opinion.
I think this one, I've watched a Netflix a show, and I watched a Netflix movie. The two that I've watched so far, this being one of them, I have to give it up that this is I've seen, okay, I won't lie. I've seen multiple Netflix movies, but this is one of the better ones. I feel like personally.
I mean, whatever.
To each his own, right?
Sure. If that's even a thing. All right, let's get into these line switching devices. Glenn is looking at birds in the corner of his.
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
Sorry
you.
about that. I got some like an Amber Alert type of thing, and it messed up my whole situation.
Oh shit! It looks like somebody else is mentoring a young child across state lines, like Shia LaBeouf or Anthony Anderson. This is a third movie we should have. Okay, no one got that. Okay, whatever.
I got it.
Fuck y'all.
I didn't know what you were. I didn't even know what you were referring to.
Because they both kidnap kids. If you think about it, the plot of
I'm talking about right.
Kidnapping young adults.
No, fact.
Actually, all three movies is about kidnapping. That's the theme. That's what we should think about. Kidnapping kids.
And more guns. Rudy wants more guns in every movie.
Or don't write thugs in your movie.
Right. If you're gonna be a thug, be an African thug with an African accent.
You feel me? A real one. All right. Let's go through these budgets and box offices. We'll start in the same order that we rated them. Peanut Butter Falcon. What do you think the budget was for that movie there? What do you think?
$4.5 million.
4.5 for Glenn.
When did it come out?
Like 2 years ago, last year, something like that.
Yeah, 2019, something like that.
10 million.
10 million.
I'm gonna say 15.
15 million. Actual budget price $6.7 million.
Damn.
So Glenn, you was the closest. 6.7, yeah. And what do you think it made in the box office?
Did it even go to box office? It just went straight to
It had box office release.
I think it probably made about what I said, about 4 million, 4.5 million.
About what? So you think it made what it made for the budget? It made his money back.
It just made it.
I'm gonna say 20.
Was
20?
it a limited release or a wide release? It don't say do it.
Just guess, okay, sir. I don't know.
Good.
I mean, like, did it go to other countries?
Being difficult.
Did it go to other countries? I don't know, but it was a wide release throughout the United States. Yes, I don't know about other countries. It may have went to other countries. I don't know. I didn't look that deep into it, but
I'll say 10.
10 million. All right. It actually made 23.3 million in the box office.
Oh, nice. Okay. See, I didn't think it was in a lot of places. That's why I thought so low. It went higher. All right.
I mean, that is low key low. I mean, because most people, like, big movies be trying to make like 30 million in the first weekend. You know what I'm saying? So like,
no, this movie was not. I don't think it got like a lot of press. I don't. think
for sure. I never heard of it until you brought it up. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Message from the King. What do we think the budget was for that?
25.
I think
25.
it was. I'll go with 27.5. Is that
very specific? Got you.
Lonnie's like,
what you got, DA?
I said 15.
15. The budget for this movie was $10 million.
Oh,
10
wow.
million.
Damn.
10 million.
I knew it was.
All right, and what do you think it got for the box office?
Me and Lonnie was.
I didn't realize it had a box office. I thought it went straight to Netflix.
Yeah, so did I.
No, it's not a Netflix original. No, it had a box office. But I will say I think it did go to Netflix not too soon after because it didn't have. Don't go too high because it didn't have like a wide release type.
Okay.
I'll
10
say,
million.
Okay, I'll say. I'll say it made 15 million.
What'd you say, DA?
I said $1 million.
Okay. Yeah. If it wasn't for DA, I was gonna make y'all re-guess because all y'all went way too high. It was $268,837.
Oh, it didn't even break $1 million.
Didn't even break half a thing.
Why'd they do the King like that?
Because it wasn't a good movie, man. It just wasn't there. It wasn't hitting all the it's just.
I don't even remember when it came out or like how it came out. I don't even remember seeing it.
I don't even remember.
I'm almost positive that it didn't. I thought it came out right on Netflix. Like I thought Netflix released this movie.
I mean, usually when the box office is that low, it usually they just probably have like a small release and then put it on Netflix. But
yeah, they released it in like one theater or some shit.
Right.
Okay.
All right, and then for Beats, they actually did not. Hey, this was a Netflix original, but I searched everywhere high and low. They didn't have the box office or the budget. So what I did was I just got both Rotten Tomatoes scores, the audience score and the critic score. So we'll start with the critics. What do you think that the critics gave Beats on Rotten?
35.
35.
Yeah, the critics probably didn't like it because both of you guys didn't like it. So. I'm gonna go with like a 50, 65.
50, 60. That's.
I'm gonna say 42.
42. The critics actually gave it a 90%.
Wow. And you two didn't like it. That says something about you two.
Well, we're not critics as well. Audience. What do you think the audience score was?
89.
89.
65.
65. DA?
You know what? I think the audience liked that. I'm going to go with 90 as well. No.
90 is.
Did somebody say 80?
I said 89.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to go with. Dang. Either way, I'm going to be a dick. I'm going to go with 80.
Go with 80. Well, that's why me and Lonnie are audience members because the audience gave it a 58%.
Exactly. See, yeah.
Terrible people. Haters in the building.
That shows you that critics. I mean, critics are pretty much wrong all the time. So
it's never
how that goes.
Never true.
I mean, they shit on a lot of movies that end up having big box office numbers. All right. Well, that was great, man. Great discussions, great movie picks. Glenn, man, tell us what you got going on, man. Where the people can find you, websites, Instagrams, podcasts, all the above.
Check it out, Level Up Comedy, levelupcomedy.com. You could look at Level Up Comedy on YouTube's, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff, always out there. Or Glenn Lawrence Comedy, always doing something fun and interesting. Hopefully we'll have some cool content coming up. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Love talking film. Be more than happy to come back and do it again anytime.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Cox Comedy, we got you, brother. We got you. Yeah, absolutely, man. You definitely welcome back anytime, bro. We've had people who become reoccurring guests, if you will. So yeah, man. Anytime you want to pull up, bro, chop it about film, just let me know. I'll send you what we watching that week, and we'll come chop it up, man. DA, talk to us, man. What you got?
You can follow me at D_A_Henry. Still working on that rent lens for you guys. About to start getting that money to go film it.
That money.
Let's do it to it, Stay tuned.
Dope. Lonnie boy, what you got?
I'm getting on stage tomorrow, I think. It'll be the first time in 6 months. So that should be fun.
Congrats.
Yeah, man.
Where's it going to be?
Huh?
Where is it going to be? Where's the show?
Like Fort Lauderdale, about 30 minutes north of me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Where at, Lonnie?
Shipwreckers. Did you ever do that?
I haven't, but I know what it is, though.
I mean, it's like it's a kava bar, so I'm not expecting a big crowd or anything, but that might be better.
Hey man, don't downplay yourself. You gotta overhype it, make it sound like it's.
I mean, it was the first place I was ever a headliner, so can't beat that.
Damn. There you go. Are you headlining again?
No, I'm like on the open mic. I don't even know if I'm on the show. I don't even think I'm gonna get on the show.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, you don't really want too big of crowds right now, anyways. I mean,
right, exactly.
It's rolling, so gotcha. But dope, man. RudyComedy.com, man. Follow me there, man. Willy-nilly if you're nasty on Instagram. This is Dumbass Film Students, but we're here every single week. We post every single Thursday. We'll be here next week with another guest talking about some, films and all that type of shit. Once again, shout out to the filmmakers and everybody involved with the Peanut Butter Falcon, Message from the King and Beats. RIP Chadwick Boseman. Appreciate you guys, man. Great job. And we out.
Peace.